worship. Look at how African spirituality is. Binding people, they are bound. The people are literal slaves. Because every time you need something, you need to sacrifice. And every time you receive something, you need to sacrifice. I've seen people, not that I'm mocking them, I've seen people always have fresh spandlers on their arms. If you don't know what a spandler is, it's a skin bracelet, basically. It's from the cow or from the goat. People keep sacrificing because they are trying to appease the ancestors and all that. Now, let's look at this. My parents, who were once alive, who did not demand anything from me as their child. They just loved me, they cared for me, they took care of me and all of that. Now, suddenly, when they pass on, they become some form of a god or some form of a deity. Now they demand things all the time. They are always angry. They are always hungry. They are always in need of something from me. But when they were alive, they were not doing the same thing. How does that make sense? Make it make sense to me. Now, another thing I want to clarify. Human beings will always be human beings. When we die, we don't become something greater, something better, something. Now we have power to do things for people in the world. That's not true. Human beings were created to be human. Even when they die, they don't become angels. They become human beings, but in the spiritual world now. There is no way my father or my mother or any relative of mine have passed on. There is no way that when they've passed on now, they have some power to do things. They have some power to open doors or close doors of blessings. That does not make sense. These are created beings who were created by God. Few issues that I have with African spirituality. Number one, it doesn't have a foundational doctrine or teaching. It's not clear. There is no standard pattern or standard teaching to say this is how African spirituality operates or this is how we're supposed to practice it. For example, someone from Nigeria might be practicing African spirituality in a different way. Someone from South Africa, same thing. It's a different way. But we are all saying we're practicing what? African spirituality. It's not a uniform religion or a uniform practice. It's different for each and every African person depending where you are located as an African. That's the first thing I have a problem with. Like I said, African spirituality can be anything to anybody in Africa depending on which part of Africa you are. For example, people who practice these things, they contradict each other.